Hello and welcome back to Fantasy Entertainment. I just need to get one thing out of the way. Aegon Targaryen, are you kidding me, D&D? Today's video is, of course, a re-3 of Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 7, The Dragon and the Wolf. Minor quibbles aside, this was the kind of episode that made me applaud, so I think it was a good one. So the episode begins with soldiers in King's Landing preparing for the possibility of an Unsullied and Dothraki attack. Also, that was the weakest trumpet sound I've ever heard. Let's just say this music was on point for the entire episode, so I'm not gushing throughout this entire video, but that Dothraki theme though. I like the way the Hound kind of turned the white into his pet project, so he's the one who has to tap it to make sure it's still alive. Characters meeting up was a big part of this season, so of course the scene of the Dragon Pit was charged with awkward energy, and I loved it. Tyrion and Bronn was interesting. Tyrion and Podrick was adorable. The Hound and Brienne meeting up was something we've been waiting for, and it was a really sweet moment as well. The Hound finds out that Arya is safe and she's at home again, and hey, she's going to be quite a little murderer. That's my girl. The Hound and the Mountain. Not quite Clegane Bowl, but definitely hinting towards it. Dany, of course, had to make her big entrance on Dragonback, fashionably late. Euron did a good job playing his usual wild card by interrupting Tyrion's opening statements. I was not expecting both Jaime and Cersei to yell at him to sit down. Of course, he only listened to Cersei. This talk was pretty interesting, went about the way I thought it would. Cersei originally turns them down, afraid of losing her power. Then the Hound brings out their little surprise. It was really quiet for almost an uncomfortably long time. So I was watching this with my dad and he was thinking that the white stopped being animated, but I was a little more optimistic and was thinking they were just building it up to a big jump scare. And jump it did. It just lunges at Cersei, but the Hound pulls it back and hacks it into a couple pieces, which are still moving. Jon shows how to kill them using fire and dragonglass. I loved how Qyburn was pleasantly interested. Ooh, zombies, you say? Though I was expecting the hand he was holding to just put him into a chokehold. I like how Euron just nopes out of there, though by the end we know that he and Cersei have this big convoluted plan that he'll go over to Essos and get the Golden Company, but still, big bad Euron afraid of a zombie? After that demonstration, Cersei is all for a truce, but only with Jon. She still doesn't trust Daenerys. She respects him because he's Ned's son, but then Jon has to go and prove he's Ned's son by doing the honorable thing and revealing that he had already bent the knee to Dany. That's it. Show's over. Lannisters leave. Brienne tries to talk to Jaime, but she doesn't really get through to him. So Tyrion decides to go and talk to Cersei. This is really an emotional scene for both of them. Cersei is mad at Tyrion, obviously for killing their father and for indirectly leading to the deaths of Myrcella and Tommen. He tries to goad her into killing him. The mountain's right there. But she decides not to. She can't bring herself to do it. So he gets a drink. In the back of my mind, I was expecting the wine to perhaps be poisoned, but it's not. He tries to convince Cersei that Dany is the better ruler for the Seven Kingdoms. He figures out she's pregnant, and we don't know what happens after that. Jon and Dany have a little talk about dragons and Dany's curse and what they're going to do next. Tyrion brings his sister back to the Dragon Pit and she pledges her troops to their cause. Call our banners. All of them. Cut to Winterfell for a Sansa Littlefinger chat. She just found out that Jon has bent the knee to Dany. Littlefinger thinks it's for a marriage alliance. Yep, we know what's coming next season. Watching the scene for the first time, the dialogue made me feel kind of uncomfortable, and as much as I love Sansa, I wanted to call her an idiot for listening to him. Watching the scene a second time, I'm starting to see how this is all set up, and she's just playing to the crowd. I need some fanfiction depicting secret Stark scheming stat. Back at Dragonstone, they make their plans as to how they're going to get all the troops north. Dany decides that she will sail there with Jon instead of going on Dragonback, which I think that is the best plan. There's no more conquering. She's not the greatest person ever. She's on an even playing field with everybody else. The next season with everyone in Winterfell is going to be amazing. Reunions everywhere. The next scene I was not expecting in the least. Jon and Theon have a rather emotional talk, and Theon tries to apologize for everything he's done against Jon's family. He tells Jon how he's always respected him for trying to do the right thing and how he has always failed to do the right thing. He's always fighting himself. Is he a Stark or a Greyjoy? Jon forgives him and says he's both. Theon definitely needed this little nudge to propel him forward into his arc for the next season, where he's going to go and rescue his sister from Euron. He feels like it's truly a Greyjoy now, but he still has that Stark honor and strength, and that's evidenced in the fight where he has against the Ironborn who's trying to stop him. He keeps knocking him down, but Theon keeps getting back up. Stay down or I'll kill you. The way Theon won the fight was just hilarious. Wouldn't that guy know better than to knee him in the crotch? So the rest of the Ironborn now respect him and will follow him. The Greyjoy theme plays as Theon falls into the ocean and washes the blood away. He feels like a new man. He's finally Theon again. Back to Winterfell for some fun Great Hall action. While watching it for the first time, I thought Arya was acting way too calm. If she was really in this situation, there's no way she would submit to being brought to her sister. The dialogue, second time through, makes much more sense. Are you sure you want to do this? Translation, are you sure you want to go through with this and pass this sentence of execution? So how do you answer to these charges of murder and treason, Lord Baelish? And I just started applauding. Well done, Starks. Very well done. Sansa reveals all she knows about Lysa's death, and Bran throws in the whole knife at Ned's throat thing. Arya shows him the dagger, and then kills him with it. It was so interesting to see his facade of confidence fall as he shows true terror, drops to his knees, and begs for his life. Oh well, such a fitting end for a great character. The player got played. Jaime is planning troop movement north when Cersei says she wants a word. She says to stop, there's no need for this. She never planned to go through with what she promised. They'll just hang out in the south and let the north get destroyed, and then when that's all over, they'll take over what's left. But Jaime does not want to break a promise. He wants to be an oath keeper. Cersei feels threatened by him, says he conspired against her, and by disobeying her, he is committing treason. It seems like the Mountain's gonna kill him. I actually thought he was going to for a second. In this episode, Cersei is faced with the idea of killing both of her brothers. Unlike with Tyrion, she actually gives the order to kill Jaime. She gives a little nod. I don't believe you, Jaime says, and is able to walk away. She is all alone. The evil Cersei theme plays, and Jaime leaves her and King's Landing finally. Hallelujah! It started to snow in King's Landing. Winter has finally come for the South. The theme song plays eerily in the background as familiar locations are covered in snow. We go back north for the remainder of the episode. Sam and Gilly and Little Sam make their way to Winterfell, and Sam finds Bran. Bran has his exposition drop about Jon's parentage, but as far as he knows, Jon's still a bastard, but he's a sand, not a snow. But Sam reveals he was listening to Gilly a couple episodes before and makes the connection about the annulment and secret wedding. The following scene can be viewed in two ways. The first way is it is very well set up, beautifully narrated and shot. There's the flashback to the wedding and the parallels to Jon and Dany. He loved her and she loved him. They finally reveal that Robert's rebellion was built on a lie and Jon is the true heir to the Iron Throne. The second way is with all the quibbles. Incest, yes, but we'll just brush past that. That's the least of our problems. Why were Rhaegar and Lyanna getting married through the New Gods? Tyrion just standing in the hall was really weird. Are they setting up next season that actually he's been in love with Daenerys this whole time? I really hope not. And my biggest problem is, of course, with Jon's real name, Aegon Targaryen. I'll probably make a video eventually explaining the implications of the name choice and what I would have picked instead. I understand why they did it, but I don't have to like it. We finally get to see Sansa and Arya acting like sisters who love each other, who tease each other and respect each other. They're bonding over the love of their father. In winter, we must protect ourselves, look after one another. When the snows fall and the white winds blow, the lone wolf dies, but the pack survives. And what would a season finale like this one be without a big final shot of the army of the dead? Over at Eastwatch, what's left of the Night's Watch is in for a big surprise. 3 horn blasts later, and the army of the dead starts creeping out of the woods. So Viserion breathes blue fire? I'll allow it. It was pretty cool. He takes out part of the wall and the army starts marching through. So does that mean Tormund and Beric are dead? Beric, at the very least, deserved a better ending than that. Also, what happened to Gendry? Memes? Comments. So, what did you all think of the finale? Let me know in the comments below. I have a couple other projects I'm working on right now, so those will be up as soon as I find enough free time to finish them. In the meantime, in the description are links to my other Game of Thrones videos, so feel free to check them out. One of them is a music video, and the other is a list of my favorite theories. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time, and remember, embrace your creative side. Season 7, in the books.